Chris, what is our fifth main topic today?
Fifth topic comes from Ricky Bizzaro. Well, John, it's finally here.
It's here.
The first teaser trailer for Thor, Love and Thunder, finally dropped. It didn't show much, but I thought it was great. The sort of cheesy, tongue-in-cheek tone and song choice was everything I hoped for. Not to mention that peek at Russell Crowe and Natalie Portman. What were your guys' thoughts? Love the show. I'm an everyday viewer. Thanks.
Well, thank you so much for that, Ricky. Good to have you here. And yeah, it's here. It's late coming, but it's here. Thor, Love, and Thunder. Last week, Rob and I were having a discussion. I don't know if you remember this, Rob, and I said, you know what? Here's the thing. I really do think...
Too much aviation gin. I don't remember.
I don't remember a thing. I remember saying to you, I really do believe it's going to drop on the 18th because Hasbro has an earnings call on the 19th, when I think they're going to drop a lot of
did say that
about the toys. And generally speaking, they'll do that after the trailer drops. Therefore, I think it's going to be on the 18th. Here we are on the 18th. Maybe it had nothing to do with it. That's for a thing. But here we are, the 18th, and the trailer has dropped. And I'm not going to lie to you. I opened it up. I got the email from Disney. They said, new Thor trailer available. I'm like, all right, here we go. And I hovered my mouse over the link. I'm like, am I ready to watch this? Oh, God.
And you did, too. Yeah. You were like, I could see it.
I mean, I literally took a breath. I'm like, because I love Thor Ragnarok a lot. So I'm like, oh, please don't disappoint. Please don't disappoint. So with some nervousness and trepidation, yet great excitement, I went ahead and clicked play. And very early, I heard the tones. I'm like, oh my God, is this Sweet Child of Mine? And then more notes. I was like, oh my God, they're going to use Sweet Child of Mine as the song to this trailer. So it starts beating in all this kind of stuff. Look, I'm not going to bury the lead. I put this out on Twitter today. I said, look, I am very excited about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Very, very excited for it.
Me too.
I am officially now 5 times more excited for Thor, Love, and Thunder. This teaser was everything to me. The song choice, the characters, the feel of it. There is a moment in this trailer that might be the funniest moment I've seen in a trailer in like the last 2 or 3 years. When Star-Lord is talking, when things are tough, whatever, look into the eyes of the people you love, and then Thor just kind of slides into frame with that look on his face. And I showed it to Anne after I saw it once. I said, Anne, you got to watch this. I didn't tell her about that scene, but I was just watching. As soon as that scene happened, she started cracking up. That is like one. Also, there's this great moment when Thor's standing up on this rock, and then behind him you can see Star-Lord going, oh my God. And Thor throws off his shirt, and it flies in Star-Lord's face. I mean, we get a look at Olympus, I'm assuming. We get a look at, not his face, but we get a glimpse at Russell Crowe as Zeus. We get a great look at Natalie Portman as Lady Thor or Mighty Thor or whatever they're going to call her in this thing. I thought that was great. I mean, the music selection, whatever. And it's important to point out, this was a first teaser. So in a first initial teaser, doesn't really give us much about the story. We get an idea about where Thor is in his life at this point. He's trying to retire from the superhero stuff, right? We got no Gore the God Butcher. And I've read some people complaining about it, but I'm like, no. It would have been a tragic mistake to put Gore the God Butcher in this first teaser. You don't put Gore in the first teaser. Nobody knows Gore. Nobody anywhere knows Gore. So you put up on a first teaser the things that people are going to recognize, get excited about, get energy buzzed about, and you just get people pumped with the first teaser. Now, once we get into the first full trailer, no doubt that's when we're going to be introduced to Gore. Because now we already know the movie's coming. I shouldn't say this, but I will. When I told Ann, I said, did you see the new Thor trailer dropped? She said, there's a new Thor movie? I'm like, you didn't know that? She goes, no, when's it coming? Next year? I'm like, in like 2.5 months. She's like, really? So if Ann didn't know, I got to feel there's probably a lot of people out there who have no idea, like people who don't watch the John Campea Show and are in our little 5% bubble sphere. There's probably a lot of people out there who don't even know this movie's coming. Because all the emphasis, of course, has been on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, understandably so. So this is the trailer you put out to announce the world, this thing's coming. get everybody excited. And now once that established, next trailer, that's when you bring in Gore the God Butcher. You start setting up kind of what's the idea about this. How does Jane come across Mjolnir? What got her to that point? What role is Zeus going to play in this? Who is Gore the God Butcher? What is he ultimately trying to accomplish here? Is that indeed the Necro Sword? And if it is it the same Necro Sword that we got in the comics? I got a feeling it has nothing to do with Null, but maybe it does, or maybe it's something else entirely. All that stuff comes later. All I know is this. For a first tease, this made me smile and laugh out loud and hit repeat many, 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 many times. I thought this trailer was absolutely glorious. Rob, you had a chance to check out this Thor Love and Thunder spot. What did you think about it?
Well, as a teaser, I thought it was terrific because I wanted to know what it tells you is what is the underlying thematic, what is the meaning of this movie? And the idea that Thor doesn't really know who he is, his place in the universe, which he always knew who and what he was, is no longer secure. And I love the idea that this story is relatable to anybody. You know, at some point in your life, everybody asks themselves, like, you know, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing here? If this is all we ever saw of this movie before it came out, I would be happy with this because I love the idea that, you know, not all gods have a plan. And I thought that what a great way to take this movie, because it makes him, it's a human story, even though it's about a superhero who's a god of Asgard. And I love that idea. And, you know, I don't want to know anything more about this movie. I mean, I'll watch the next trailer with Gore. We know Gore the God Butcher's there. We know they shied away. They showed us the movie looks like a comic book. You know, it's got that Taika Waititi color, you know, the Jack Kirby-esque feel to it all. We saw all of our characters. We saw many different looks for Thor. We saw like his new classic outfit. We saw him in a t-shirt. We saw him looking in different ways, which I loved. So and I love the opening when you saw him as a young boy transforming as he ran through the woods into the Thor that we know. I mean, there's something about that idea that they leaned into that in the first Wonder Woman movie. I loved this teaser because that's what it was. It was a teaser, and it did a great job. I cannot stop singing "Sweet Child O' Mine" as I'm not talking on this show. I'm sitting here in my mind. That's all I can hear. It's the earworm of today. Dude, I loved it. I loved seeing the Lego boat. You know, the Lego toy that we talked about. The goat boat. They showed it. You know, and I wish that there isn't going to be another trailer before you see the movie. I know there will be, but to me, this made me excited about this film. It put a smile on my face. I like you, watch it over and over and over again. I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted. And it's telling a new type of a story within the Marvel Universe. Yeah. Once again, they figure out how to make these movies new and relevant. And I mean, this is the fourth Thor standalone movie. And it's going to tell us a story we haven't heard or seen before about this character. And Hemsworth, man, he was the best thing about 2016's Ghostbusters. The man is a deft comic actor. And Taika Waititi saw that, brought it out in Ragnarok. This looks like to be peak Hemsworth. And I am there for it.
I can't. She's got eyes. I mean, that's all I've got in my head, like completely. Chris.
And by the way, Natalie Portman looks dope.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and
she's got guns for days.
And dear heavens, her arms. Because I still remember when they first made the announcement about it at Comic-Con, they brought her out on stage and Taika Waititi got down on one knee and handed her Mjolnir. And she looked great, but she's really skinny, right? It's like, I mean, I hope they get her in the gym, they bulk her up a little bit for a transformation. Looking at this, it's like, I've never seen Natalie Portman like this. I mean, this looks really good. I also put up on Twitter today, it's like, dear heavens, if Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman ever had offspring, it would destroy the universe's space-time continuum from sheer sexiness. Like, it would cause like a black hole to collapse upon itself. Like, if those two had a kid together, it'd be crazy.
Also, Tessa Thompson with the one shot of her as King Valkyrie.
Because it's a tourist. It's a Vegas tourist trap. New Asgard is a Vegas.
And the way she kind of looked to a side and scowled as she said, I love her.
She wants to fight.
I love her. And just that one shot, I'm like, I can't wait to see this movie.
And you know, here's the craziest thing about it. We're getting this trailer today. First, look at it. Mm-hmm. It's in 2.5 months This movie's out in 2.5 months. So crazy excited about it. Okay, Chris, you had a chance to see this trailer. What did you like about it? What stood out to you the most? What are your thoughts in general?
I mean, like y'all, I kept watching it over and over again this morning. I was so excited that it actually dropped. I love the song choice because it does feel like this lovely marriage, too, of Guardians and Thor. Like, it just made sense for me of like, yeah, you'd be rocking out to this. I love that we're getting like 80s troubadour Thor. I'm very into that look.
80s
Troubadour Thor.
Right? Though?
That is the best.
Like, that's what he looks
Okay,
like.
I hereby pronounce that the aviation shot of the show.
Oh, I won the first one. Yay.
Or either that, or when you said the Hardy Boys are DTF.
DTF.
Yes, that's gotta be a T-shirt somewhere.
Someone's writing that fan fiction right now.
Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. You know, the one with the delightful ads with good Canadian kid Ryan Reynolds. So look, after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't a catch. And guys, that's no joke, because for years I've been using one of the major providers and it was fine. But I switched over to Mint Mobile a little while ago. The service has been fantastic. And the big difference is I'm now paying about 1/3 of what I was paying before. And the best part for anybody who just hates their phone bills is that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea.
But I'm so excited about this. I think this looks great. And yeah, where would you want gore in this trailer? That's what I'm confused by. We didn't even see our villain.
I would like to have seen him playing Sweet Child of Mine, wherever he's
Just
from.
shredding
On a guitar.
Oh my
I mean, Christian Bale, he could. I believe in him. But I think this is perfect. We're seeing that Thor's going on this journey. He's got to find himself outside of his own lineage, right? Outside of this idea of him as a king or as a hero. He has to find who he is. And I think this is going to be a really compelling character study, which sounds so weird to say about this trailer, but I think that's what we're going to get.
Ray, you had a chance. You watched this trailer this morning. It was your kind of trailer. It wasn't like a full 2.5 minutes. It was a short 1.5 minute trailer. Your kind of bite.
I fell asleep anyway. No, you know what? I enjoyed the trailer. Star-Lord, Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
He looks really skinny on the shot that first shot. I was like, a lot of them got in shape for this movie.
I bet he got jacked. I mean, you have Thor doing the giant ropes.
The one thing I'm worried about, I think I'm worried about with the Thor movies, is every Thor movie that comes out, he's less and less of the god. You know what I mean? But you know, it works for entertainment value. I think the mighty Thor, Jane Foster, is gonna be the destruction I'm looking for from a Thor in this movie, and I think Gore is gonna just destroy that whole new Asgard.
That I was going to say that you said. I'm glad you said that because I have a theory watching this trailer.
All right.
There was a I loved it, called The Siege, and it was when the Dark Avengers, led by Norman Osborn, attacked Asgard when it had been relocated to Oklahoma, and it was a monstrous battle. I could see, because Star-Lord is half celestial, a god. He's half god. You've got the other Asgardians who are gods, essentially. I'll bet you this movie ends with the battle of New Asgard. Just like you said. I think that's going to be they're going to do the siege.
Remember,
and it's going to be Gore the God Butcher.
There is that Lego set that came out, and it was the goat boat, and it had a bunch of the heroes, and it had Gore the God Butcher in there as well. So, I mean, that would speak to the possibility,
Yeah,
the
because-
theory about maybe the big climactic battle happens in New Asgard.
And it's another example of Marvel. And by the way, I don't know this at all.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
we're
not
guessing.
even-
We're pure guessing.
But, Marvel always takes their storylines and sort of adapts them for the MCU. And it looks to me, it was, and the only reason, like you, I thought of it watching Tessa Thompson, just the scowl, like
Yeah.
look what Asgard has become.
Yep.
And I would love to see the siege happen there.
We got a shot of Korg too. A quick
Several
shot.
shots of
Yeah.
Korg. Yes,
You know?
very happy to see
So
Korg in there.
I actually the 2 times I watched it, I didn't see Rocket, but he's probably there, right? Did you guys notice Rocket in there?
Yeah, he's probably there.
He's
Probably
he's
skating.
really
I was gonna
small.
say, we see Groot, and if Groot is without his dad, I'm going to be very sad.
Yeah, and by the way, we also heard that we've heard Zoe Saldana is going to be in it. So at some point, we'll probably see Gamora.
And then the new bluish tinted armor that Thor's wearing looked good too.
Hello, hot
It's not as
toy.
colorful as like I was used to from Ragnarok, but you know what? It's. I just have a feeling it's going to be a good time. But to counter your thing of excited for Thor, I'm still more excited for Doctor Strange.
I think probably a lot of people are. That's understandable. We've
Yeah.
had a lot more material for Doctor Strange to get excited about.
It's funny because I thought I would be reversed because Thor is like I love happy movies, like good time movies. But there's something about Doctor Strange 2 that is pulling me towards it, where I feel like there's something big is going to happen in there, and it may not happen, which would be cool. But that's the reason I'm excited for it.
I
more
would
than
point
Thor.
out, like the Thor, the comment you made about the Thor and godlike. I mean, to me, he's been getting more and more powerful through the.
Oh,
things.
when he shows it,
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like a snap. It's just like here, and I do love the comedic side, but I think they're getting away from like just he's the what was he, the prince, the
Well,
The
he's
Prince
gonna
of Asgard.
find
he's
himself
like
in it.
vacation Thor. This is like vacation touristy Thor.
I think. I mean, Chris Hemsworth talked about that, where he said before Taika Waititi, he was losing interest in the character. He said when Taika Waititi came in and started doing what he was doing, Thor, then all of a sudden Hemsworth says, "Now I was on board with it. Like now I was excited again to play this character and what you're able to do with it."
Right.
And I thought the result. By the way, you brought up something. One of you two brought it up quickly. I can't believe we didn't bring it up. One of the things we've been talking about for the past while about what they can do in Thor and being excited for Thor and all that kind of stuff. One of the things that we've really said we want to see a lot is we want to see a workout montage, right?
Oh, yeah.
And oh my God,
Yep.
the MMA like workout montage where there's some giant dead thing. I'm sure something he killed at some point.
This could be me going too far with this. Is this a nod to Vincent D'Onofrio's take at Thor from Adventures in Babysitting? The hat and the tank?
Oh my God.
Oh wow. You know what?
Hold a second.
I could definitely
oh,
see that.
right.
Let me see if I can.
I completely forgot about that.
By the way, good pull there, Chris.
Wow.
Thanks.
I can't
Because it looks like he's wearing an Avengers hat.
It's an Avenger. It says something Avenger. I can't make out what the thing is, but that's an Avenger. Just he's still got the trucker beard, the gut, and he's just
Yeah.
doing the rope things on the chains. It's like if Sweet Child of Mine is not playing while this montage is going on. I mean, I wanted Survivor, Eye of the Tiger.
Right.
Right? But if you're gonna do Sweet Child of Mine playing as he's doing this, I'd be all the what people are saying, oh people are saying in the live chat, the hat says strongest Avenger.
Perfect. Well done.
Oh, that's
Well done.
awesome. I didn't have a chance to zoom on enough. Strong. Okay. This movie, just give it all the Academy Awards right now, as far as I'm concerned.
Do you think Mark Ruffalo is going to be in it?
Ooh. Okay.
Because I kind of think you got to have
Okay.
a Hulk.
So it would make sense for Ruffalo to show up because, number one, he is showing up in a couple of other projects, right? He showed up at the end of Shang-Chi. We know he's going to be in She-Hulk. It would make sense considering he has a connection to New Asgard and King Valkyrie, right? So it would make sense that Hulk was the secondary character in Thor Ragnarok. I'll say yeah. I don't think a big role, but I'm going to say yes. I think he pops up.
I bet if the Battle of New Asgard happens, he shows up to help.
Oh my God.
He shows up to help. So it'd be full on Hulk smash again
Yeah.
because he hasn't been that way. He's going to show up at the end of this movie like the Millennium Falcon showed up at the end of Star Wars. You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing
Like
and go
screw
home.
Professor Hulk gone. Like
Full
Hulk,
on rage
Hulk.
monster Hulk to come in because I'm sure Gore the God Butcher doesn't come alone.
I'm getting a little aroused.
Dude, kind of. I'm telling
I'm
you.
sure the whole place doesn't exist anymore.
Dude, can
after
you imagine-
after this war? Especially
Can you
Hulk.
imagine what that moment would be like if full on Hulk shows up at the end to add to render aid for?
So you'd have like King Valkyrie, Hulk, Mighty Thor,
The Guardians.
Thor, couple of the Guardians show up,
And then you see
versus
Captain
Gore
America's
the God
shield.
Butcher's foot.
and then Captain America's shield.
lifts up, and then Thor catches it.
Dude,
Hulk
I'm
catches
getting
it.
chills for that. Come on. I mean, maybe the other people show up to help because that's what happened in the siege. You know, and I don't know if that happens. I have no. I'm making up. You know, what do you call it? Expectation versus speculation.
Just don't let your speculation become
my
expectation.
speculation is becoming my expectation. Right
It's
before your
dangerous.
eyes.
That's dangerous.
But man, that'd be dope.
Okay, let me go around. Let me go around the room here. Rob, we're going to start with you. Favorite moment of the trailer? This is tough because there's a lot of good ones in here in the short trailer.
You know what? I know it seems silly, but that opening scene when he's running, running as a boy, I just that kind of stuff gets me every time, and I love that. I love that because it immediately tells you that this is a story about transformation and change and maturity and growing up. And Thor really hasn't grown up. And after the events of Ragnarok and after the events of Infinity War and Endgame, and he becoming bro Thor, he needs to mature, and that's what this movie's about.
Ray, let's go over to you. Favorite moment of the trailer?
It has to be when Thor takes off his thing because there's a shot of Star-Lord going, oh God. I love this competition between them two. I could watch hours of video of them just going back and forth, talking, like exaggerating things just to make each other themselves better. I could do that for hours because these guys work so well together.
I
in
just
dialogue.
love this shot where the jacket he throws off just covers Star-Lord's face. I love that shot. Okay.
Oh, I didn't notice it. It landed on
Yeah,
Star-Lord.
first it goes Star-Lord going, oh my gosh. And
Oh my God,
and
that makes it so much
covers
better.
Star-Lord. Chris, what about you? Favorite moment of the trailer?
That would have been mine. So
Aw.
my close second is that shot of Mighty Thor.
Mighty Thor.
Seeing her with the little super glued hammer. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, now let's talk about this just for a second because it bears being brought up. We have had, Rob, both you and I have had some articles sent to us about some theories, and this ties into Moon Knight,
Right.
about how Mjolnir was reassembled. Rob, do you want to give just the basic cliff notes here about what the theory is?
there is I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but Moon Knight at one point does reassemble Mjolnir, and because he makes the argument that it's made out of moon rock, and this is in the comics. I don't want to get too deep into it.
Well, there's a great scene in the comics where actually Moon Knight uses Mjolnir against Thor. And Thor's like, how is this happening? He goes, because Mjolnir's actually made out of moon rock.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't gonna say. I wasn't
It's
gonna. I
public
was just
knowledge,
trying
right?
to
It's in the comics.
but totally, and that's why I said. Remember last week, somebody wrote in and asked about seeing Moon Knight again, and I said, I think we're gonna see Moon Knight sooner than you might think, and in a movie, because look, I would say, if this was anyone else other than Taika Waititi, I'd say no. But that's exactly the kind of thing he would do. And I don't know if the Egyptian gods if Gore the God Butcher is going after them. I don't know what's happening, but it would not surprise me that a movie star like Oscar, I'm getting too excited. I'm trying to talk and breathing in at the same time. Because if Moon Knight shows up in this movie, dude, I'll lose my shit.
Me too.
But that's the kind of thing that I think this movie would. Why wouldn't they do that?
They have to explain.
Yeah, and I know it was forged in like the heart of a star. We've seen that, but there's nothing to say that. Nah, that's just what they told you.
By the way, here's the comic panel in particular where Thor is trying to fight Moon Knight and call him the Hammer, but the Hammer's obeying Moon Knight instead because it's made of moon rock. Now, then Rob and I had the discussion, because Rob and I both saw these things, and we had the discussion for it, because I said, now, here's the problem, of course, that would retcon what is in the MCU. This would be one of those situations where the comics differ from the MCU, because in the MCU, you just alluded to it, right? We've already heard Odin the Allfather say in Thor 1 that Mjolnir is not made from moon rock. The Mjolnir is made from the heart of a dying star. And you could say, well, maybe
the fragments landed on the moon.
Became a moon. Like, I mean, you could do that, but essentially, I think it would retcon. So I don't think they're going to do that, and I don't think we're going to see Moon Knight in there. I don't think they're going to say Mjolnir's made of moon rock.
Party pooper.
There is comic precedent.
Yeah.
8 times out of 10, Feige does not follow comic precedent, but there is comic precedent there.
I mean, I think it would be pretty cool.
Me too.
Because I would love to see Moon Knight on the big screen in this movie. If there was any movie that they would stick Moon Knight in now, it's this movie.
It does seem like it fit. I mean, we've heard nothing about it, though. I mean, it would kind of feel...
But we've heard nothing about much of this movie.
That's true. But it would kind of feel out of nowhere, wouldn't it? Depending on how Moon Knight ends. We still have 3 episodes of Moon Knight to go. So maybe by the end of Moon Knight, we're going to be going, you know what? This totally feels like he'd pop up in Thor. So,
well, there was rumors that Mark Ruffalo was going to show up in Moon Knight. And if he does, maybe he has a task for Moon Knight.
I don't know. So many questions to go. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Did you have a chance? Of course you watched it. How many times have you watched the brand new Thor Love and Thunder trailer? What was your favorite part of it? Did it make you more excited for the film, or were you already too excited for it? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and leave your thoughts there.